Hey guys, it's Ryan. Hope you're all doing well. Today I am in Tallinn, Estonia. You wouldn't really be able to tell that I'm in Tallinn, just kind of looking around because we're in this really remote region, this park that's kind of over near the Airbnb that I'm staying at. So the reason that I'm here, I'm visiting my girlfriend Sayrung, who has been living in Tallinn for the last 3 years. And now that I've been living here for a few weeks, I feel like I'm living a little bit more like a local and a little bit less like a tourist. So what I wanted to do in today's video is highlight to you guys some of the more off the beaten path attractions that you might enjoy seeing during your time here in Tallinn. So I invite you guys to sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. Traveling during a global pandemic definitely is no easy feat, and as I was making my way from the New York City area over to Estonia, I definitely ran into a few roadblocks, and I'm not gonna lie, I did have to pull a few strings in order for me to obtain entry into the country. I feel like I can make a completely different video on just how I was able to get into the country during this crazy time, but thankfully they did let me in. And before we jump into the video, I just want to apologize in advance for the quality or lack thereof on this video. I definitely wasn't planning on filming anything for the YouTube channel when I made this trip over the Atlantic to Estonia. So all these videos are filmed just on my iPhone, and it's not the normal style where I'm kind of vlogging and talking to you guys as I'm going around. I'm doing these voiceovers, and as you can tell, the quality on them isn't so great as well. I'm just recording it with the internal microphone on my computer. So apologies for that in advance, guys, but I just have so much free time now. My girlfriend Sayrung, she's at work from like 9 to 9 every day, so I figured it'd be beneficial for you guys for me to put something up on the channel. So one of the great things about Estonia that I've experienced since coming here in early June is the extremely low number of coronavirus cases. Every day it's either been 0, 1, or 2 cases throughout the entire country. And it is a country that has a small population at, I believe, only around 1.3 million, but still per capita, it's doing among the best of all the countries in Europe and is doing considerably better than countries such as the country that I am from in the United States. So while cases in the United States right now are spiking to record highs, the people in Estonia are living almost as if the virus never happened. People are outside, eating dinner, going to bars, going to restaurants. People are riding public transportation. People aren't wearing masks, which of course wearing masks is always going to be a good thing to prevent the spread of the virus, but the transmission levels are so low at this point that the country is seemingly getting away with the fact that no one's wearing masks. Of course, assuming the numbers are correct. So now I can go ahead and jump right into my list of top places that I recommend that you visit during your time here in Tallinn. Really, with this list, I strive to keep you guys away from some of the overpopulated tourist areas where you'll find tourists from across Europe, from different places around the world. But my first recommendation on this list is the main tourist area of the city because I do think it is worthwhile going, despite the fact that it can be slightly overpopulated with tourists from time to time, and that is the old town of Tallinn, or in Estonian known as Vanalin, which was originally founded in the year 1219. A couple areas of the old town that I wanted to call out that I actually wasn't aware of during my first time visiting Tallinn are 2 viewing platforms, the Kohtuotsa viewing platform and the Patkuli viewing platform. If you go up there, they're going to give you incredible panoramic views of the city. You can get some incredible pictures. I definitely recommend going up there around sunset. It's definitely a sight to see. So my second recommendation on places that I think that you guys should visit during your trip to Tallinn is going to be Kadriorg Park, which can actually be easily accessed by either the 1 or 3 tram. Really, the public transit in Tallinn is pretty advanced. It's pretty easy to get around the city, whether you're using the tram or the bus system, and it's relatively inexpensive as well. You can actually get a 5-day unlimited pass to use all of the public transportation for only around €9. And I'm not too sure why I never made it over to Kadriorg during my first time visiting Tallinn, but I'm definitely happy that I made it over this time around because it really is a beautiful park. The real centerpiece of the park is the Kadriorg Palace, which was originally, construction began in the early 1700s and was completed in 1725. It was built by Peter the Great for his wife Catherine, his second wife at the time. And then as the years passed, the building was actually used as a summer residence for some very high-ranking Russian political figures, as well as some very wealthy Russian aristocrats as well. So it really does take you back to that time when Tallinn was a part of the Russian Empire. And what you can actually do as well is you can actually go into the Kadriorg Palace to this day. It's recently been converted into an art museum where you can see different German art from the German aristocrats that were living in Tallinn in the 16th and 17th century. So it really can show you, when you go to Kadriorg Park, the different time periods during the city of Tallinn, and the fact that it has many different influences from the German Empire as well as the former Russian Empire as well. And then after you finish up at the museum, you can take a stroll to the other side of Kadriorg Park, where you can actually find a Japanese garden, which seems very random to have in the city of Tallinn, but they do have one, and it is very beautiful. When I was there in mid-June, all the flowers were in full bloom, so it's definitely a great place to go to chill, relax a little bit, and just take in the ambiance during a nice sunny afternoon. So my next recommendation of places that I think you should visit during your trip to Tallinn is Piazza Beach, which is a beach about 20-25 minutes outside of the city that's frequented by the locals here in Estonia. You can easily make it over to Piazza Beach by taking one of the local buses from Võru Keskus, which is the main mall slightly outside of the old town, beneath what I believe is an old Soviet hotel from the 1970s. When you think of Estonia, the first thing that comes to mind probably isn't incredible, breathtaking beaches, but I have to say that Piazza definitely does have a certain charisma to it. One of the things that I really like is the fact that you have to walk through this wooded area that has the type of trees that I'm not too accustomed to seeing in North America, and the trees almost go right to the beach, so it really kind of gets you out of the city and kind of feeling like you're in a more natural environment. They give you the ability there to take part in pretty much any aquatic activity that you want to participate in, whether it be paddleboarding, kite surfing, although the waves aren't super big there, but there's definitely a lot going on. They do have a few resorts as well as bars and restaurants, so I would say Piazza can definitely serve as a great day trip and also provide for the opportunity for you to get out in nature and relax a little bit during your trip to Tallinn. The next entry on this list actually isn't in the city of Tallinn, but it is pretty easily accessible from the Estonian capital, so I figured it made sense to include it, and it actually happens to be my favorite place that I visited during my time here in Estonia thus far. So the destination that I'm referring to right now is called Perrineau, Estonia, and it's actually less than 2 hours driving away from Tallinn. I would say the best way to get there would be the way that me and Sai used to get down to Perrineau, which is the Lux bus. So basically, it's a very luxurious bus. They have Wi-Fi, they have little TV screens, almost as if you're going on a plane. And the price was the thing that was really great. It was actually only €9 per person each way. So definitely a very affordable and very comfortable way to get down to Perrineau. Perrineau is a very small, quaint seaside town with the majority of tourists either coming from Estonia or nearby Latvia. It definitely has a very prominent beach. It actually has been rated numerous times the #1 beach throughout all of the different Baltic countries. Perrineau also has a beautiful old town area as well, which looks strikingly similar to certain parts of the old town in Tallinn. So really with the city, you're getting the best of both worlds in the old town as well as a beautiful beach. One really cool event that they've been holding in Perrineau every summer as well for the last few summers is an event called Weekend Fest Baltic, which is an electronic music festival. They've had some of the biggest names in electronic music since 2015, guys like Avicii, Tiesto, Armin van Buuren, Kygo, Martin Garrix. I'm sure with COVID this year, the event is either going to be canceled or postponed, but it's definitely cool to see that such a small city can draw such big names and put on such a big festival. Overall, me and Sai really enjoyed our time in Perrineau. We rented some bikes, we walked around the old town, and we even had the opportunity to see a late night summer Baltic sunset at close to 11 p.m. So I would say if you're in Estonia for a week or over a week, it's definitely worth traveling down to Perrineau for an overnight trip. So my final entry on my list of underappreciated destinations in Tallinn is the Paissaare Hoiuala, which in Estonian means the Paissaare Conservation Area. So I actually just stumbled upon this one day when it was really nice outside. I was kind of bored and I was just looking on Google Maps on my phone, And whenever you see those green areas on Google Maps, typically they represent either preserved public spaces or conservation areas, public parks, things of that nature. And as I was walking over there, I didn't really know what to expect. The only thing that I saw on Google Maps was a picture of a yak, the animal, a yak that was there. So it was like very random. I'm like, why are there yaks in the city? It didn't seem like something that could be possible. And as I was walking over, I was kind of going through this old industrial area. There were a lot of abandoned factories. It was kind of this old shipping port area of Tallinn that I had never been to before. And I was kind of getting a little bit worried. I was like, oh, this seems very desolate. Am I going to be the only person over here? Is this just kind of an abandoned area of open space near these old factories? But I was excited to find out what I was going to see. And then as I got closer and closer to the conservation area, I saw a bus go by. And for some reason, when I was looking up directions on how to get to this conservation area, I didn't see any bus option when you look at the public transit. However, there is a bus. I recommend you guys take the bus. Do not walk, especially if it's like 80 plus degrees Fahrenheit, which it was on the day that I walked. So the bus that you can take is the 59 bus from Baltic, which is right over by the train station, slightly outside of the old town. Additionally, when I was getting closer, I started to notice cars that were lined up on the side of the road. And then finally, this giant parking lot that was filled with cars, with people from the city of Tallinn. It was the weekend on the day that I visited there. So I was thinking, maybe I found a hidden gem, a special area of the city that's only known to the locals. So the first area that I kind of stumbled upon after walking through the parking lot was this open beach area that was completely packed with people from the local area. As I mentioned before, the weather was really nice this day, really sunny, very warm, very hot. And I think that the people in Estonia definitely don't take these days for granted, because right now, today, as I'm recording this video, it's July 1st. I'm looking outside, it's raining. It's in the high 50s, low 60s degrees Fahrenheit. So just because it's summer in Estonia doesn't mean it's definitely going to be warm. So these people were definitely taking advantage on this warm summer day. And then in addition to this first beach area that you'll see as you're entering the park, they also have a number of trails that go through the woods. I stumbled upon a few old abandoned buildings that had to be at least 100 years old. There were some that might have been even older, maybe back to a time when this area was actually settled and wasn't preserved open space in Tallinn. Really random thing, really strange thing. The only strange thing about this place is right when I walked out of one of these abandoned buildings, there was this guy in the middle of the woods all by himself, just standing, kind of staring, looking off into the distance, completely naked. We made eye contact, and then I was like, ugh, and I continued to walk. So just look out for that while you're in the woods, but otherwise, really cool place. And then the yaks. So I did finally find the yaks. They weren't kind of out in the prairie area. They were all under this one tree. Again, it was a very hot day, but it was kind of cool to see them. You can get really close, kind of say hello. I'm not too accustomed to seeing yaks. I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild before in the United States. So I said hello to these guys, and then I walked over to one other really quiet beach that's a little bit more further into the park. There are these rocks that were kind of out of the water there as well. There wasn't nearly as many people. So a nice, really relaxing spot. Just a couple of people that rode their bikes deep into the park to go hang out there. A couple of people having picnics. So definitely a really cool place to visit during your guys' time in Tallinn. All right, guys, so that wraps it up. Those are my top picks for kind of off the beaten path destinations for places you could visit during a trip to Tallinn. So definitely let me know what you think down in the comments. And for those of you that are from Tallinn, from Estonia, or have been here before, if you think that I missed anything, definitely let me know down in the comments as well, because I'm still here for a little bit over a week, so I do have some more time to explore. Next up for me and Sai, we're going to be trying to travel to Austria. We're going to be going to Vienna and then over towards the Lake District near Salzburg. And I say that we're trying to because I'm not 100% sure if they'll let me into the country. I know that EU citizens can now travel to Austria without a quarantine, without taking a test, or someone that has a residency permit, which Sai does. However, I do not. I'm coming from a country with a low infection rate in Estonia, but my passport is American, where obviously they do have a lot of cases right now. So what it sounds like is I am able to enter the country, I hope, but I have to take a coronavirus test at the airport in Vienna upon arrival, which I have scheduled. It cost 190 euros, so it's pretty expensive, but Austria is a place that we both wanted to travel to for some time now. So crossing my fingers, I hope they let me in, and then I'll be able to provide you guys with some more high quality content shot on my iPhone here. So again, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you soon.